Welcome to Built for Love, a podcast about loving with intention, loving with purpose, and understanding the relationships that shape us. I'm your host, Javier Ortega, a life and love architect, also known as a life coach and spiritual life coach. And if you were here for season one, welcome back, because what we started as a journey has now become something more. In season one, I shared a truth that lives at the core of who I am, that we are all built for love, that loving and being loved is natural. It's how we come into this world. As children, as babies, we naturally seek love. We naturally give love. It's who we are. But life has a way of evolving us. Experiences shape us, relationships impact us, and sometimes, without even realizing it, we start becoming versions of ourselves that aren't fully us. And somewhere along the way, we start building versions of ourselves just to survive. Patterns, protections, ways of loving that aren't always rooted in truth, but in what we've learned to do to feel safe. And if I'm being honest, this isn't just the next chapter. This is a whole new book, a whole new era. Because I've had to evolve, not just in what I understand about love, but in how I show up for it. For me, these past almost 2 years have been one of the most transformative seasons of my life. After stepping out of an 11-year relationship and then moving into a separate connection, one that was for me deeply transformative, one that changed me in ways I didn't expect. Through both of those experiences, I was led back to myself. I turned inward, not out of fear, but out of truth. I spent time in stillness, time in solitude, time in celibacy, time learning myself without distraction, not seeking partnership, not seeking validation, not seeking anything outside of myself. Because for the first time, I had no appetite for anything other than meeting myself fully. And in that space, I started to understand something, that healing isn't a destination, it's a relationship. It's a relationship we build with ourselves over time. I've met so many beautiful people along the way, some challenging people, some that reflected parts of me I was proud of, and others that showed me where I still had work to do. And what I realized is this: every connection introduces you to a version of yourself. And if you're paying attention, you start to refine what you need, what you desire, and what actually aligns. Not from fantasy, but from awareness. And well, somewhere along the way, I've come to experience a different kind of love. A love that feels grounded, a love that feels nourishing, a love that meets me where I am and grows with me. And I share that not to define anything, but to reflect something. That when you do the work, when you show up for yourself, when you truly meet yourself, you don't just experience love differently. You become someone who can experience it fully. But even with all that, one thing is guaranteed: the work continues, and it always will. Because this isn't just about arriving, it's about building. We don't just find love, we build the version or versions of ourselves that can hold it, sustain it, expand it. And that is what this season is about. This season is a toolbox. Not every conversation will resonate with everyone. Not every lesson will be yours, because we're not all building the same life. But every single one of us is building something, right? And throughout this season, You will find tools, I guarantee it, through conversations, perspectives, stories that will support you in building a version of yourself that is more aligned, more aware, more grounded, and more open to love than ever before. So this is the next era of Built for Love. And with that comes a whole new rhythm. Each month, we move through 3 episodes, 3 touch points, 3 ways to support your growth, your awareness, and your evolution. And this season, we're also doing things a little differently. In season one, many of the conversations were much longer. And while they were powerful, I completely heard you guys. So this season, these episodes are more intentional with your time. They're shorter, more focused, and designed to meet you where you are. Whether you're on your way to work, in between moments in your day, or simply giving yourself space to tune in. The very first episode of each month is our energy forecast, a space where we tap into the energy of the month ahead. Through astrology and tarot, we explore what's unfolding, what's shifting, and what's being asked of us. We'll move through each zodiac sign, highlighting the two main energies leading that month. It's insightful, it's intuitive, it's a pulse on what's happening beneath the surface. And I'll be joined by my co host, Eddie Valdovinos and Regina Mirando. The second episode of each month is where we go deeper. The interview. These are our conversations, our explorations, our real grounded human moments. This is where we dive into the systems that help us understand ourselves: astrology, human design, attachment styles, the Enneagram, the frameworks that give language to our patterns. This is where we explore the healing work: nervous system regulation, inner child work, shadow work, rebuilding identity, what it actually takes to grow. This is where we look at relationships through a clearer lens: emotional availability, compatibility versus chemistry, self sabotage, intimacy, the dynamics that shape how we love today. And this is where we hear real stories: people who have lived it, moved through it, rebuilt themselves, and found something deeper on the other side. And then we have our third episode of the month, the post check, where I'll be joined by my best friend and co host, Eddie Valdovinos. So, if Built for Love is the heart, this is where we check the pulse. What's happening in the world? What's happening in culture? And what's happening within us collectively? Each month, we'll explore 3 layers: what's unfolding globally, what's showing up in entertainment and culture, and what emotional or personal theme is rising for all of us. Because we don't exist in isolation, we are always responding to something, and awareness changes everything. So, before we go any further, I want to take a moment to honor someone who was a part of Built for Love from the beginning, which is Ivan. He was my guest on episode 4 of season 1, A Straight Man's Dating Point of View, where he shared so much wisdom. So if you haven't heard or seen that episode, I highly recommend it. There's so many beautiful golden nuggets on there. But not only was he a guest, he was a friend, and for me, even more than that, he was family. Someone who supported me in the beginning of this podcast, who believed in me, who showed up for me in ways that I will carry with me for the rest of my life. He showed up for me not just here, but in other areas of my life as well. He truly felt like a brother to me, and losing him absolutely shifted me. It reminded me how precious life is, how meaningful connection is, and how important it is to keep going. So, this season is also in honor of you. Rest in power, Ivan. There was a moment after season one where I had to pause. My intention was 10 episodes, and I closed at 6 because life was asking me to be still. And I'm glad I listened because in that stillness, I found clarity, I found truth, and I found the next version of this vision. Because in stillness is where things are born. So whether you're single, in a relationship, healing, or becoming, there is something here for you. Because at the end of the day, this isn't about chasing love. It's about becoming someone who can live it fully, honestly, and intentionally. And when you learn how to show up in that way, it doesn't just transform your relationships, it transforms how you show up in every area of your life, in your career, in your passions, in your purpose, in the relationship you have with yourself. Because this isn't just about love and romance, this is about love and life. Once again, I'm your host, Javier Ortega, your life and love architect. And this is Built for Love. Welcome back. Let's get to building.